Hello students, once again I welcome all of you on this online teaching platform on behalf of Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samajas, Srimati Vimlaben Khimji Tejukaya, Arts, Science and Commerce College, Deolali Camp, Nasik. I am Dr. Kiran Rakibe from the Department of English. Now before we start with today's session, let us see what we did during the last session. Students, in the last class, we discussed what is dramatic poem. We talked about the concept of dramatic monologue as well as we discussed the features of dramatic monologue. After talking about the features of dramatic monologue and the characteristic features of dramatic monologue, we also recited the poem aloud so that we can enjoy the poem in a better way. Now, let us see what we are going to discuss, what we are going to study in today's session. Students, in today's session, we are going to discuss My Last Duchess poem in detail. Line by line discussion will be done and we will try to analyze each and every word so that you will understand the poem in better way. After discussing it, we are also going to apply all the features of dramatic monologue to the poem My Last Duchess. Now, during the discussion, we are also going to discuss the character of the Duke. The Duke, who is the speaker, and during his speech, how he reveals his own character. After talking about Duke's character, we are also going to analyze the character of the Duchess. The Duchess, who is no more, but the Duke, during his speech, also reveals her character. Now, let us see some of the learning objectives of today's session. Students, towards the end of today's session, you will be able to understand My Last Duchess as a dramatic poem. How the features of dramatic monologue are applicable to the poem My Last Duchess. You will also be able to understand the character of Duke. Some features of his character, how Duke reveals his own character as a suspicious person, as an egoist person, and as a greedy person. You will also be able to understand the character of Duchess. During his speech, the Duke reveals her character as over-friendly, as flirtatious, and so on. So these are the learning objectives which you will be able to grasp towards the end of today's session. Now, let us start reading the poem My Last Duchess. We will read the poem line by line and we will also try to analyze each and every word, each and every line. So here we start with the poem. That's my last Duchess, painted on a wall, looking as if she were alive. So, as during the last lecture, we discussed the features of dramatic monologue. In a dramatic monologue, there is one speaker and one or more listeners, or sometimes imaginary listeners. In this poem, in My Last Duchess, the Duke of Ferrara is the speaker. He is talking to the envoy of the neighboring state, the messenger. And the situation is that he is showing the portrait of his last Duchess, a huge portrait which is there on the wall, and while showing the portrait, he goes on talking about her nature. He tries to reveal her nature through his speech, and he starts with this, that's my last Duchess. Now look at the word my. He calls her as my last Duchess, which means that the Duke, when she was alive, tried to consider her as her property, as her belongings. So, my last Duchess, and painted on the wall. This shows that he is talking about the portrait and not the actual Duchess. So, that's my last Duchess, painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. The portrait is such a beautiful portrait that she looks as if she is alive. That means this also shows that the Duchess is no more and the Duke is showing her portrait, and the portrait is portrayed in such a way so beautifully that as if she looks as if she is alive there. Then he goes on saying, I call that piece a wonder. I call that piece, the portrait. The portrait of the Duchess, which is there on the wall, he calls it as a wonder. Just as we say that there are 7 wonders of in the world. So it is a wonder. The portrait is such a beautiful portrait that as if it is a wonder. But look at the next word. He says that I call that piece a wonder now. That means when she was alive, he never gave any kind of importance to the Duchess, to his own wife. Only after her death, when she is there on the wall in the form of a portrait, now he says that I call her as a wonder. And then Frau Pendolf's hands worked busily a day. Frau Pendolf's hands. Now, who is Frau Pendolf? Frau Pendolf is an imaginary artist. It's a creation of Robert Browning. He's an imaginary artist, and Robert Browning, the poet, created this character, which shows that no other but Frau Pendolf. The portrait is created by, done by an extraordinary artist called Frau Pendolf. Then Frau Pendolf's hands worked busily a day. A day. What does this suggest? A day means that the artist Frau Pendolf completed that portrait in one single day. This shows that the Duke was so suspicious that he did not want his wife to be in the company of any other person, in the company of third person for a longer time. Therefore, he asked the artist Frau Pendolf to complete her portrait in one single day. So, Frau Pendolf's hands worked busily a day. He continuously worked on that picture, on that portrait, and he completed it one single day, and there she stands. So, this portrait is an outcome of her task, outcome of his art, his tremendous art, hard work of one single day, and there she stands as if she is alive. Then the Duke is talking to the listener, the messenger. Now he says that, he continues with his speech, wilt please you sit and look at her? Her means the portrait. The Duke asks the messenger, requests him, will you please sit and look at her? Now look at the word order. Instead of saying that, will you please sit and look at her, he has changed the word order. He says, wilt please you sit and look at her? Now, this change in the word order is one of the figures of speech which is called as inversion. Now, what is an inversion? An inversion is the change in the word order. The normal word order of a sentence structure is changed. So, here, instead of saying, wilt you please sit and look at her, he says that, wilt please you sit and look at her. The Duke is asking the messenger, the envoy, to sit there and observe, look at her, observe her carefully. And then he goes on saying, I said Frau Pendolf by design. I said Frau Pendolf, another figure of speech. So, I said Frau Pendolf. The second figure of speech used by the poet here is a run-on line. Now, what is a run-on line? A run-on line in poetry is also called as enjambment. It is incomplete syntax at the end of a line. The syntax of a line is incomplete. the line or the sentence does not end towards the end of a line. Rather, the meaning runs over from one poetic line to the next without terminal punctuation. So, usually what happens, the poets either put comma or a question mark or exclamatory mark or a full stop. So, punctuation mark is used towards the end of each line, but sometimes to maintain the meter of a line, the poet continues line with the next line, and that is called as running over from one poetic line to the another line. It is called as a run-on line. So, here he says, I said Fra Pandolf by design. By design, purposefully I am telling you that this portrait is portrayed by, made by Fra Pandolf. So, not any ordinary artist, but the great artist like Fra Pandolf has created this portrait. For never read, again the line continues with the next line. For means because. Why I am telling you purposefully that this portrait is an outcome of the artist called Fra Pandolf? Because. For means because never read strangers like you. Again the word order is changed. Because strangers like you never read. Read means understand. A common man, an ordinary person cannot read, cannot understand the portrait properly. So, for never read strangers like you, that pictured countenance, expressions, face, the face which is there in the picture. The Duke says that I am deliberately telling you that this portrait is portrayed by Fra Pandolf, because a common man, an ordinary person, or the strangers like you, they are not able to understand, they are not able to judge the kind of expressions which are there on her face, the face which is there in the portrait, in the picture. Now, what kind of expressions are there? He is asking the messenger to observe it carefully, read it, see it, watch it, the depth and passion of its earnest glance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. The eyes of the Duchess which are there in the picture, in the portrait, they are full of passion. There is a depth as well as the eyes are very passionate which are there in its glance, as if the portrait is looking, the Duchess which is there in the portrait, she is looking at the other person who is watching it with full of passions. So, when this happens there, when people watch it, he says that, but to myself. So, the reading should be like this. By design, I have told you that Fra Pandolf is the artist, because never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. When they do not understand, when they are not able to understand it, they turn to myself, but to myself they turn. They means the strangers, whoever watches that portrait, they turn to me, they come to me, and look at, since none puts by the curtain, I have drawn for you but I. The portrait of the artist is always put behind the curtains. The Duke never allowed anybody to watch her portrait. He says that I always put that portrait behind the curtains. None puts by that curtain, but I have drawn the curtains for you. This shows that, this reveals his character as a very egoist person, a very suspicious person. Now, if the Duke is not allowing, he does not allow anybody to watch even the portrait of the artist after her death, portrait of the Duchess after her death. So, we can just imagine what kind of attitude he could have when she was alive. So, he is asking the messenger that observe it carefully. You are very lucky that I have drawn the curtains for you and you can watch it and look at her eyes full of passions and depth, the eyes of that portrait or the Duchess is having. And seemed as they would ask me. So, he said that if anybody does not understand it, they turn to me, they come to me and seemed as they would ask me if they durst, if they dare. So, nobody has any kind of daring, nobody dares to ask the Duke about the Duchess's portrait. But if there are people like you who dare to ask, they come to me and they would ask me, what question? How such a glance came there? Some people, some observers, they watch it and when they look at her picture, those eyes full of passions, passionate eyes, passionate glance, they come to me and they ask, how such a glance came there? Why her eyes are full of passions? So, not the first. So, you are not the first. If you dare to ask such kind of question, why her eyes are with full of passions, so you are not the first person, sir. So, not the first are you to turn and ask thus. So, you are not the first person to come to me and ask about her passionate eyes or that glance which is there in her eyes. Sir, it was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheeks. So, there is a beauty spot on her cheeks. Now, if you think that the reason behind calling up that spot of joy on her cheeks could be my presence, her husband's presence, then you are wrong, because it was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into Duchess's cheek. The reason behind calling up that spot of joy on her cheek was not that I was present over there. Perhaps the reason for calling up that spot of joy into her cheeks could be perhaps Fra Pandolf chanced to say, the artist, while portraying her picture, might have said, chanced to say, what? Her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much. Mantle means the cloak, usually worn by the kings and queens, the kind of apron put on by the kings and queens. So, that cloak, that cloth might have covered lady's wrist too much. She was so beautiful, so delicate, the artist might have said that, oh ma'am, don't cover your hand so much with that cloak. Let it be uncovered because the hands are so beautiful, so delicate. So, why do you cover it? Let it be uncovered. That might have said by the artist. Fra Pandolf might have said like this something. This is the imagination. This is the imaginary statement made by the Duke. The Duke said that it was not only my presence over there, but perhaps the artist might have praised her beauty and said that her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much. Or another reason could be that he might have said, paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half flush that dies along her throat. As I have already told you, the Duchess, she was very beautiful, she was very fair, she was very delicate, and the artist might have said that even the paint, the colors which he was having while portraying her picture, her portrait, he failed. The faint half flush that dies along her throat due to her fairness, that it was pinkish, reddish, and he did not have proper color, sufficient paint to reproduce the similar kind of shade of her throat, the beauty. Due to the fairness, fair color, her throat was reddish or pinkish. And Frau Pandolf might have said that I do not have enough paint to reproduce the same kind of color. Such stuff, such kind of praising, flattery, he said that. So he is giving the reason. Don't think that it was my presence that called that spot of joy into her cheeks. And these are the reasons, these could be the possible reasons, he says. The artist might have praised her something like this. And he says that such stuff was courtesy, she thought. So, you know that usually what happens when a photographer is clicking a picture, an artist is painting something to bring out more beauty or the smile on the face, the photographers or the artist praise the object, praise the person of whom he is or she is clicking the image. Now, that was what he might have said, but such stuff was courtesy. The Duke says that that was the courtesy she thought. She took it seriously. When he praised her, according to the Duke, that was not the praising, it was the flattery. He flattered her about her beauty, about her look, but she thought that it was the courtesy and cause enough. That could be the reason. When she was praised, when she was flattered by the artist, that was the reason for calling up that spot of joy. Now, that beauty spot which is there on the cheeks of the Duchess, the reason is that the artist might have flattered, praised too much about her beauty, and that is the reason why that spot of joy is there on her cheeks. Then the Duke goes on talking about her. Now we come to know that when the Duke is talking here about the Duchess, he reveals his own character also. Now we come to know that he considered Duchess, his wife, like an object, like a property. That's why he says that my last Duchess, belongingness. Secondly, he was very suspicious kind of person. That is the reason why he did not allow his wife to be in the company of third person for a long time, and he ordered the artist Frau Pandolf to complete that portrait in a single day. So that kind of character is revealed by his speech. His own character is revealed. At the same time, when he is talking about the Duchess, we also come to know that about her character. She was a kind of person who could be easily flattered, who could easily fall for the praisings. Then the Duke continues with it. He says that she had a heart. She means the Duchess. He says that, sir, she had a heart. How shall I say? How shall I tell? How shall I talk about her heart, her feelings, her nature? She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She had a kind of heart which could be impressed so easily by anybody. If a person praises her, whenever any person praises her, she could become glad so easily. So, she had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. It was very easy to impress the Duchess. She liked whatever she looked on. So, she had a kind of heart that she could like anything, whatever she looked at. She could like it, she could praise it, she could fall for it. That was not the problem according to the Duke. Okay, she liked whatever she looked on, but the main problem was that her looks went everywhere. The Duke says it's okay that she liked whatever she looked on, but the problem was that her looks went everywhere. And whatever she looked at, whatever she looked on, she used to like it, she used to praise it. So, she had a very weak kind of heart. When the Duke is talking about her, he reveals her character as a kind of person who had a heart which was very easy to impress. Anybody, any ordinary person can impress her very easily. Fine. So, students, in today's discussion, we finished half of the poem, first half of the poem, and rest of the poem, the second half of the poem, we will continue the poem in the next session. So, on the basis of today's discussion, let us see the summary of today's session. Now, in today's class, we tried to analyze the character of Duke, and we come to know that Duke is a very suspicious kind of person, as he did not allow his wife to be in the company of other person for a longer time. He was a kind of person who treated his own wife like a property, like an object, which says that that's my last Duchess. We also analyzed first half of the poem so far. Rest of the poem, rest half of the poem or the second half of the poem we are going to discuss in the next session. We also tried to start our discussion with the setting of the poem, that the messenger of the neighboring state has visited the Duke, and the Duke is showing the portrait of his wife to that messenger, the portrait of Duchess. We come to know that she is no more, when he says that as if she looks as if she was alive. So, we also come to know that his wife, the Duchess, is no more, and he requests the messenger, that NY, to observe that portrait carefully. And we have also tried to analyze the character of the Duchess, which is one of the features, one of the characteristic features of dramatic monologue. The speaker of the dramatic monologue, during his or her speech, reveals the character of the person about whom he is talking. So, here the Duke, when he talks to that NY, during his speech reveals Duchess's character also, was a very according to him, she was very easy to impress. She had a heart which could be owned, which could be impressed so easily by anybody. Now, after this discussion, let us have some assignment on the basis of today's discussion, on the basis of today's session. Now, the question number 1, write down a note on the character of Duke. On the basis of today's discussion, you are supposed to write a note on the character of Duke in about 10 lines. You are also expected to write a note on the character of Duchess. And third question is that write down the note on figures of speech used by the poet. That is a run-on line and the inversion. These were the two figures of speech we discussed during the discussion of the poem. So write a detailed note on these two and try to apply these figures of speech to the poem. Try to illustrate your definition by using the poem. Now you can write your answers and send these answers on my mail ID, that is kiranrakibe1575@gmail.com, or the another mail is that rakibe.kiran@mvpspktcollege.ac.in. Thank you.